You lose focus on whether you're either an artist or you're a businessman.
Yeah.
And if you're an artist, you're less of a business mind. And the more business mind, the less artistic. You know, and it goes, you get a little out of touch on both.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be able to waver back and forth, I find, opposed to being right in the center. But that's just two, that's half a dozen one way, 6 the other kind of thing.
Did you do art stuff before you got involved with, like, how are you and Wrinkle? You seem to be very artistic.
Yeah, well,
You're a very artistic presence. As soon as you walked in, I could tell you have you're just a very, do you know when you meet people that care about art, it's almost, I can watch you try to figure out things. I'm watching you process something.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just walk in and they kind of just accept their environment. And with artists, it's like you can tell the gears are spinning a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a lot of that, a lot of individuality. You seem.
Well, yeah, in high school, I was voted most individualistic.
Really?
That was my superlative.
Yeah, see? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, that in itself was funny. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could go in and try to explain a whole bunch, but I don't like to even tell my story too much. You know what I mean? Well, let's see. Well, time is a funny thing in itself, and a lot of people look and you can learn from the past and not make mistakes that you've made. So there's things that you can learn from the past. So the past dictates the present, yeah?
Yeah.
But the more I look at it, I start seeing that the past is affected by the present.
Your perception of the past, like what you're holding on to, is like how you are being in the present is affecting your perception of the past, which therefore affects your present.
It's one way to look at it, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know. So well, but time isn't just like, you know, from one to another. It is just one thing, you know.
You're blowing my mind right now.
That is true.
Well, like the video that we're taking right now.
Yeah.
And like this moment is just one moment, right? And it's just sliding on.
Yes.
For us.
Right.
You document that. And you try to express it to someone else who's not here in this moment, right? We're gonna have to show them the video. Because they can't be in this moment. Only we are in this moment.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
That isn't the moment. But it's a reflection of the moment.
Yes.
One that can be played over and over and over and over. And that video is one thing.
Yes.
Right? And you perceive it on a little like scrub through the footage. Linear from one left, right? Yeah? But it is just one thing. You're just moving throughout it, back and forth, but it is just one thing.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm high right now or if that. No,
Well, no. Most of the podcasts don't start off with a discussion about if time is linear or relative.
Well, it's not a question of if.
It is, yeah. Of course.
Of course. You know, if you're, I mean, I guess if we talk about different dimensional ways to think about things, your brain can only think about it in what you're capable of, like in the third dimension. But the fourth dimension is time, yeah? And you can't see in the fourth dimension like you can in the third dimension.
Yeah.
That's where we're only third dimension. We're not fourth dimensional. Right?
Yeah. Do you subscribe? Do you want to introduce your podcast?
Yeah, I guess we're rolling now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast. I have on the internet's most famous duck. Oh my god, the internet's most famous duck, Wrinkle. It's the marathon duck.
Hello.
It's the duck that wears boots. I think it's the world traveling duck. This duck is all over my feed. It's all over everyone's feeds.
She's all over. I take her everywhere.
What's one of the coolest places you guys have been together?
Mm.
And this is Hugh, by the way.
Mm.
Hugh
Cheers.
is, what, do you go by like a handler or?
Charmed, I'm sure.
What's the relationship like between you two?
Well, I guess at this point, I would say that I'm her pet human.
Okay.
You know, and she takes me everywhere. But some places don't allow pets, and it's okay. You know, she's very understanding to the rules, and some places you can't take your pet human. Yeah.
Where can't you take your pet human?
Oh, well, so far I've learned that you can't take your pet human to an apple orchard.
An apple orchard.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the few places you can't take your pet human.
Whoa.
I know. You can take your pet human to the, oh, sorry. You can take your pet human to the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
You could take your pet human.
It is, right?
Let me go see. Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Don't feel on
It's
the
okay.
Yo, Scott, you go.
That's the emergency line, Wrinkle.
Would
You
you-
see, only emergencies get through there.
Good. Come
You
through.
could tell it's really an emergency.
What would you describe Wrinkle's temperament as?
Oh, well, you know, it's very hard to put into words. I'll just let her say it herself. What do you think, Wrinkle?
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's quite the linguist.
So you, but
Wait, hold on. Sippy. Sippy. It's asthma.
Sorry about that.
Brush your hair. She's starting to molt.
To molt?
Molt.
Is that like a form of shedding?
Yeah, it's kind of like it. It's a form of rejuvenation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So before we started, you said you were gonna migrate somewhere south.
Oh yeah, you gotta migrate south for the winter.
So when you said the first snowfall?
Well, December 22nd, I believe the movie comes out in theaters in which you can watch. It's a movie called Migration, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Illumination Pictures.
Okay.
It's
literally about migration?
Yeah, it's called Migration. It's literally called Migration. I know. Is it a first duck movie like that coming out in a long time? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised that Pixar didn't do it, you know. But Illumination, gotta give them a shout out for representing ducks like that.
Yeah, so you're gonna go to the theaters?
Well, we're gonna definitely try. You know, we'll see what we can do. But who knows, because we might migrate, because, well, we're about to migrate ourselves. So it's really good. It's a funny little thing, because it's that time of year.
Yeah, you get in the mood.
It calls to you.
And you probably explained this on social media, but what was how did you and Wrinkle come together?
Oh, well, that's the whole story. It's very simple. You see, she was trapped in this egg, right? She was trapped. Right? It's true. And she couldn't get out, but I could tell she really needed some help, so I sat on her for 30 days. That's right. And 30 nights. I sang to her.
What did you sing?
Well, I sang various different, lullabies and sea shanties and stuff from my childhood.
Sea shanties, yes.
But then toward the end, I came with my own song called Bird Wake Up, and it goes, Bird wake up, time for bird to wake up, bird wake up, bird wake up, time for bird to wake up, bird wake up. Yeah, you like that, Rico?
She knows it.
Yeah, she does know it.
Yeah, I sang it to the egg to coax her to wake up.
Yeah.
It was
And to come out?
it was inspired by my alarm tone
That-
on my phone at
Yeah.
the time.
I got that.
That was my own personal wake up song, so I thought it would help her. And then I don't know, I just put words to it, I guess.
And then she came out of her egg.
Yeah, and that's she does like that song. It's very calming and soothing. Ironic at the time, I didn't really think about it, but I'm saying wake up in the song, and it always makes her fall asleep. So it's kind of ironic if I thought about it at the time to say, oh, this would be one of those like visceral, like you're in the egg and you can't put like the first kind of like connection of voice through the shell is a song about waking up. And then when sung later in adulthood and
because
you hear
of the
it,
comfort.
you fall asleep.
Yeah.
So it's a song about waking up that makes you fall asleep.
I like that though.
That's
Yeah,
deep.
it was completely unintentional.
It's deep though.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of meaning.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really mean.
you know, it's funny. There's a lot of meaning everywhere. You know, you just look and you'll find it. And that's one of those things people usually say in a negative connotation, like if you look, you'll find something. Usually, like again, I think my girlfriend is cheating on me. I'm gonna go through her phone, and your friend will say, "Hey, man, if you look for something, you're gonna find it," right? And that is true. But that's just true about anything in that, because we live in the world of symbols here, and everything is symbolic. Everything has meaning more than just what it is. It's got multiple layers like an onion.
You're really preaching to the choir right now.
Right? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that they're all reflections of itself, like Warhol, like Campbell's soup, like life imitating art, and art imitating life.
Yeah.
Right.
And the play between those two. And it's kind of bring us back to the beginning of what I'm saying, is there is a play between the past and the present that doesn't just go one way, but goes the other way as well.
Yeah. I just don't often break it down. Earlier you were talking about the, this really doesn't have anything to do with anything other than the fact that I'm just interested in how you feel about the fact that we are living on a plane of existence that only we can perceive, but the existence we are living is deeper than what we're perceiving. Do you know what I mean? But I just wonder, what does that? You seem to live your life in a. I don't know. You seem to be more in that direction than tethered to the perception that most people have. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Like
you seem to
like Pinocchio. Like I got no strings to hold me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll see if you start lying. I'll tell if you're like Pinocchio.
Oh yeah, no, you'll see. Yeah, that was very easy.
Yeah. You do seem a bit untethered. Yeah.
Maybe I'll start lying. I've been thinking about that. Maybe I should start lying more.
Why is
I
it?
think
I don't know if I agree.
I just feel like in so many different ways it would be very beneficial to lie more. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be more successful. People would probably think more of me, you know. It's like McDonald's and you drive through the number 3, you get the picture, you go, oh, that looks delicious. You get it, you open it up, and you're like, there's something wrong with my burger. And you walk in there and you tell them there's something wrong with my burger. Someone like sat on it. This is something wrong, you know. And then they say there's nothing wrong. And they look at it and they say there's nothing wrong. You're wasting my time. And I say, you know what? I understand. I was you once. I work in the fast food. I work in this. I had a job. It's not my place. It's not my problem. You're here 9 to 5. You're checking out. Can I speak to the manager? And they go, you know, Karen or whatever the version of Karen was about 10 years ago or so. But then I speak to the manager and I say there's something wrong with this burger. And then he looked and he says there's absolutely nothing wrong with this burger. And I said, all right, you know what? I'll take that. You're right. In that case, there's something wrong with your sign outside. There's something wrong with the picture. You see, and then we've had this, you know, long story short, I have to leave. Yeah. I speak to my friends when I get back, or my stuffed animals or whatever, and I'm asking them, my parents, well, you know, like I said, my friends, my parents concerned overhear me through the door speaking about my problems. They come in and they explain to me the idea that, you know, you want it to look and I don't understand. I say, but it doesn't look, and they go, but no one will buy, and I'm like, they won't buy it if they knew what it looked like, and they say no, they wouldn't buy it if they knew what it looked like, and I said that doesn't make very much sense at all. You know, if they wouldn't buy it, if it didn't look like that, why don't they make it look like that? Why don't they serve what's in the picture? They made it enough, and they said, well, they can't, and I said, well, but then how did they take the picture? And they said, well, they could for the picture, and I said, how did they do it for the picture? I know, it's very confusing. I tried to explain it to Wrinkle, and it still doesn't make sense.
I listen to you talk for hours.
I really could too, bro.
I mean, you get it. I mean, I was younger,
Yeah,
I understand the nuance now, but it took a while. Because I still, to this day, can't understand the difference
Oh,
where
really?
the line is between false advertising and
straight.
embellishment and lying and deception, you know, and when it's good and when it's bad. So I usually don't touch the stuff if possible. It's icky, it gets on you, you have to wash it off, it's still there, you can smell it, you gotta get the bar of soap that's made of metal that they have down at Bed Bath & Beyond, or they used to, they probably still might have a few, but I don't know. I think Bed Bath & Beyond, by the time, if you're watching this, Bed Bath & Beyond is a place that existed until December 2023, and then it's completely out of business. Last time I checked, it's a really good sale, 90% off, and you got those 20% off coupon, you can take that off of the remaining 10%, and that's 92%, that's 92% off, if you think about it, which is really good.
That is good.
I still have a bunch of those coupons.
I had a question for you.
They're good forever.
I had one question for you.
They never expire.
I don't know how we got on Bed Bath & Beyond.
You spent most of your time in the Beyond section, I did.
Oh, I worked there. Yeah,
No,
I
you
did.
worked
I
there?
did. I did.
Did you work there?
I did.
Oh,
in
wow.
the Beyond section. It's really funny. No, I did. See, they've got the hard side and the soft side. I work on the hard side.
The hard side.
The hard side of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, like with all the metal
See,
stuff.
Well, say non-soft. I mean, they do have metal stuff, but it's the bed and the bath, and that's usually like linens. You know, you're talking thread count.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that.
Pillows.
Well, you know, okay, they had the duvet covers, and it got me confused, right? And I was like, but what's a duvet? And they said, it's one of these, like, it's a comforter cover, right?
I have a duvet.
Right? It's a cover for your comforter.
Yeah.
And I was like, but a comforter is already a cover, so it's a cover, right? So it's a cover for your covers.
Yeah.
Right? Well, okay, so that's what a duvet is.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Then why is it a duvet cover? Why does the sign say duvet cover? Because a duvet is already a cover for your cover, and that's established
So
by the
it's a
word.
cover.
It's a cover, is what they're claiming, but it's not a cover. It's a cover, but they're just calling it a duvet cover, which is redundant in itself because a duvet means a cover. No, see, you got your cover.
My head hurts.
You got your cover, but if you spill something on it, you got to get a new cover.
Uh-huh.
So you get a cover for your cover,
It's a
right?
duvet.
And that's a duvet.
Yeah.
Right? So if you spill, you're like, it's okay, it's only on my duvet.
Right.
I'll wash it. I'll put it back on.
And you have a cover.
Like a mattress cover.
Exactly.
Right? You pee in bed a little bit. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, yeah, like
Drink too many, you know.
yeah, like you know, your mom goes out of town. You get to sleep on her side of the bed, and you know, there's like you know, it's maybe her time of the month, you know, or something, and you don't judge her. I wouldn't judge my mother. You shouldn't judge her. She brought you into this world. You should respect. But you take the mattress cover, you wash it, you put it right back. No one knows. Your mother's not embarrassed. Everything's normal.
Everything's normal.
Yeah, thanks to your mattress cover. But your mattress cover is called your mattress cover. But at Bed Bath & Beyond, they got, or they used to when they were still in business. Maybe this is why they went out of business. I don't know.
Yeah, redundancy in the product.
It's just a duvet. It's not a duvet cover.
It's not a duvet cover.
But then, okay, but either way, this discussion is why I only work on hard side after that discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, so on hard side, it's everything that's not the blankets.
Everything that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense.
No, it makes sense to me. The manager, again, just put me over onto the other side, and we never had an issue with it. I never saw the sign. It never bothered me.
You don't work there anymore?
No. That was many years ago. No, but I work the hard side. And that would be the beyond section, which it's not the bed, it's not the bath, it's kitchen, dining room, home, and more.
Less redundancies?
It had its own thing. It was the whole thing. I could go on and on about that place, man. If I look back, I haven't thought about my time in Bed Bath & Beyond in a while. Actually.
I like that.
I know it's fun to reflect with you.
She's sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any other jobs?
Oh, I've had so many jobs.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, it started. I think they're all very cool in their own way.
Okay.
I remember when I was 13.
You're so deliberate with your speech.
What did we?
It's a compliment.
I don't know what to do with that.
You don't have to, but you're very
Can I give one back?
You're very intentional with your speech. It's not.
Give one back.
I really appreciate the curve of your hat. I've been trying.
Thank you so much.
And whenever I try to get a curve like that, it just snaps it. It does. Or I go too far, and I look like there was this one guy who worked at Jimmy John's, and his hat was like, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you. Did you?
Oh, I know the guy.
I didn't see the dude.
Do you remember the guy?
You never been to Jimmy John's?
I have. But which one are you talking about?
It might have been the guy. I don't know. But if you went there and it was him, you would have said, "Dude, I know that guy," and it would have. You never know. You never know.
I hear you.
You got to take chances, and that would have been really cool if you knew that guy.
That would have been sick.
Yeah.
But no. So
What?
I do like. Wait, do you like
What do you order?
Jersey Mike's or do you like Jimmy John's better?
Oh, I don't know.
That's the question.
I really don't know.
Yeah,
That's the one that's tough.
I'd have to go. I'd have to have like the Pepsi challenge on that one. I'd need
Okay.
the two next to each other. Otherwise, so much time passes. Like I said, and then you're not the same person eating the same sandwich. You're a different person eating a different sandwich. You know? Like I don't trust the two opinions. It's like me giving the same sandwich to both of you. It'd be the same thing, and just hearing your opinion and hearing his opinion, and for what? Like, you know, like how would I know which one's accurate?
No, yeah.
It's another thing that perplexes me, just trying to have everybody has an opinion and they all taste just the same, you know what I mean? And it's hard to distinguish which one. I never like being on radio duty or something. It's like religion or something. As soon as you pick any, no matter what, it's lose. You put any station on, someone you're gonna hear from the balcony, from the back, is somewhere they're gonna, you suck.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I put it to somebody else. I learned at a very young age. If you're in charge of music, just pass that on to somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
You said in high school you won most individualistic.
I wouldn't say I did.
One.
I wouldn't say one. That's in
You were
itself.
voted?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
I had nothing. I had nothing in the process. I had no idea.
You didn't run a campaign?
No, I
You
didn't.
didn't run a campaign for most individualistic.
I didn't put the posters, vote for me. That would have been a very individualistic thing to do, though, if I
That
had.
is.
Yeah.
Well, where did you go to high school?
I went to a few places, but where I wound up was at Manhasset High School on Long Island.
Oh,
I know.
a native.
No. Yeah. Well, I'm from Kentucky, and then my mom ended up meeting this rich guy on Cattle Drive when she was out in Wyoming riding horses and guiding cows
On an actual cattle drive?
on a long pilgrimage for sale to sell them. You know, at a market. Yeah. And then a rich guy like to do that for entertainment, like the old Billy Crystal movie City Slickers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they met on that and got to talking and whatnot and had the shared experience of like a week or two on this cattle drive or however long it was. I don't know. But yeah, and then she came back and she was like, oh, I met this really nice man and he was like really awesome, and she spoke highly of him, and I guess they spoke and kept in touch, and then he'd come to visit, and then after about 6 months or a year, he was like, they're gonna get married, so then we flew up to New York, and I had no idea what was going on the whole time. You know, I was about maybe like 15 or so, and then I left all my friends and everything like that. I didn't even know. I was very upset. I didn't want to go to New York, and they were just like, "Oh, it's gonna be great," and I was like, "Nah, why? What?"
Well, you're 15. You don't want to leave everything you know.
No, yeah, no. But it was definitely an experience. Well, I'd always been moving around, but it was always like in Kentucky because my mom worked real estate and would get a crummy old house and then kind of fix it up, and then she'd sell it and have a little bit more money and then invest that one into a nicer, bigger house and then fix it up and then sell it. And we would move every year. So she would just do that and we just kind of upgrade the house and then, you know, and then sell it. So most of my time was in a really crappy house that had like a bunch of problems.
And that was in the middle of being fixed up.
Yeah, and then well, by the time it was fixed and once it was perfect, you move on. And as soon as it looks perfect, you get out of there. And so I look, and even here, reflecting on it like this with you guys, it looks, I'm like, a lot of this stuff makes sense. like psychologically with me now, looking like being like.
I was just gonna ask, like, would you think you carry on things, whether it's like like, are you comfortable in spaces like that? Just because you're like, that's what I deserve, that's what I'm like, whatever. And then also being a nomad, like migrant, like traveling all the time, and then just friendships, I wonder.
You know, I mean, that is like a therapy or like psychological, psychoanalyzed self-analysis kind of thing. Like, I don't know, that's very, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I mean, I personally, if you ask me, it's like, I hate like new and nice things. Like, it just,
same.
And if it's around, I don't want to touch it because I'm going to break it. I'm going to, it's like, but if it's really crappy and it's like, free or something like that, I'm like, nice. I love that. Yeah. And I always get the most miles out of like, anything, if it's old or free, someone gave it to me. Like all my favorite stuff, like this hat is a gift, everything, pretty much everything is a gift that I wear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters. But anything else is just like stuff, I guess. But I don't know. I guess it serves a purpose. Like everything has a purpose. If it doesn't have a purpose, then it's meaningless. I mean, it's especially if you're going to travel and you're going to move. If you're otherwise, this stuff is weight. It's this, and you're gonna anchor yourself and build your own island of junk and be the king of your little island. That's gonna be your home. But it's going to be your treasure island if you do it right, because one man's trash is another man's treasure. So anyone else will look, and you could be on a big steep, what's the word? You could be on a big
mountain,
steaming pile of, is that the right word?
Yeah.
I'm like hesitating.
That's the right sentence.
It's like steeping.
Steeping is like
tea, and then there's
it
steam.
Could be a big
so maybe
steeping pile.
Just big steeping. You could be steeping in your pile. Yeah, there we go. I knew I'd get that. You could be steeping in your pile of garbage, and anyone looking is gonna pity you. But you yourself, you're gonna be Scrooge McDuck in that coin pool that he likes to swim around in, and you're like like a giant what a dragon would sit on. Yeah. With like rubies and skulls.
I think inherently in comedy too. I think I don't know. It's always nice to meet people that are like I grew up in DC, and it's everyone's a politician and like political, and everyone's very career based, and it's all that. And I moved to New York and got around real artists. It's the reason I moved was when I started this, and I was like, I want to be around people that are in tune to something that's not just like how much money do you make, how much, like what is this thing I can show off that's like really nothing. It's all made up. It has nothing to do with like, you go back a certain amount and these things you're proud of don't exist. And so what does that mean about the thing that you're striving towards as far as like the purity of it? But I moved to New York, and this idea of like being utilitarian with like items and not, I don't know, it's like the easiest way to describe it is when I was in DC, the first thing people would ask was what do you do for a living? And here, the people don't ask that at all. It's all just like, what are your thoughts about things? And just living in a place of, I don't know, not necessarily just tangible, I hate to say shit, but just like stuff, just like what, like, it's always just very interesting to me, the people that understand that. And you seem to like really understand, because you said the same thing about your branding. You're talking about the branding and the line with the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it's like being authentic. Like earlier, you were talking about the stickers that you got, the fist bump stickers.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put anything out there that's you hesitate to sell stuff and do all these things that are inauthentic.
Yeah, well, I give it for free.
No,
like,
but
and test it out and make sure that it's something worth anything. I mean, even like with her art, like we make paintings. Wrinkle expresses her emotions through paint on canvas using her little cheese feet, and she makes these wonderful little masterpieces, and she goes by the pseudonym Claxon Pollock.
Okay.
Right. And her work is very reminiscent of his, and it looks really good, I think. But of course, I'm biased. Of course, I'm going to be swayed to think that anything she does is awesome. So I don't know what they'd be worth at all, let alone what they'd be worth to who, to what, and what to price them. So I put them at auction, like on eBay.
Yeah.
And I put a whole bunch of them, put them at auction for $1, and just figure out what people thought it'd be worth. And some of them went for like over $300, I think, which was crazy.
That is crazy.
So then I arranged it out, and I kind of put them like on a commission for like $250, and do a smaller one for $100, and then I can do like even a little smaller, just like her footprint for $50, or people are like, oh, you should do prints and do that, and I'm like, prints are silly. I don't know, like.
Well, they're not the real thing.
Yeah, but and it seems silly. Like it just feels like anyone who'd want a print. It's weird to sell it for $20, and to think that you wouldn't buy one for $50, but you buy a print for like 10 or 15. Then suddenly I'm over here being like, I'll just make more, and then just put it so that you could sell it and then you just buy and have one for 20 or 10. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna buy a print, I'm gonna sell you a print. Why?
You're so authentic.
Like, I mean, it's just like
you're so authentic. You like refuse to do anything that's not like.
Wait, I don't want that. Well, I mean, even people are like, oh, but you can make the money with this, and it's just like, but then it's like dirty money.
But we live in an age where that's not normal.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't. I mean, people.
I'm just saying that's why I'm so.
Standards matter too.
Well, I mean, they matter. Standards matter.
Inherently.
Just in here, yeah. I mean, inherently they matter. I mean, they matter to me. I'm just pointing out that they exist. I'm just saying that's just what it is. And it's just funny. It takes more effort to smile than it does to frown. And in that sense, it's like, yeah. I mean, if you want to take the path of least resistance every time, or if you want to always choose the best way to go about something because that one will make you the most money, then you're deciding that the best way is the one that makes the most money. The best way is the one where I put in the least amount of effort with the most gain, and that, and you play that ratio, and you'll stay on the McDonald's dollar menu for 40 minutes trying to get what, like, well, but if I get the deal, and then they have the thing, and then if I make with my points, but then I go over here, it's just get what you want, just do it. Unless what you want is for a little bit more money or to get the best deal because that means something to you for whatever reason, that's okay. But to not realize that your 30 minutes spent deciding that is worth way more than the $1.50 to $5 you could save is where you're losing money all the time, even though you're not losing physical cash.
Yeah.
So it's just so funny. No matter what you want, it's gonna find a way to trick you and use that.
Ego.
Or that drive, whatever it is. I mean, even there, my point is that if you want to go for what makes you the most money, then you're gonna be like, I don't know, like Mr. Beast. He cannot decide anymore on his own. He cannot make decisions, unfortunately. He can't. Just like any CEO, any kind of person who goes like that nowadays, it seems to run a business means you are a computer. I know I probably shouldn't be saying any of this, I agree. I'll wrap it up in this way, is to say that if you are to let your decisions be led like that, you are no more than a chess playing robot who always knows what will win. And there is no art to that game.
Yeah.
That is a robot, and it is making the best decision. Okay, I can't say anymore. I'm sorry.